Well, I'm doing something that I never thought I would do. And that is calling out another influencer, creator, whatever you want to call it. And Jarrod Wright, this video is specifically for you. And I want you to know that everything that I say is with the utmost love and respect. I am a huge fan of your content. I am a huge fan of your channel. My heart is telling me that I need to post a response to a post that you put up on Facebook that I will share with everybody, because I think it's based off a false premise. And I think I might have a solution to the question that you asked. And I can do all things through the Christ that strengthened me, right? Let this be one of them. So, in case you don't know Jarrod, let me introduce you to Jarrod. This is Jarrod Wright. Jarrod is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jarrod is a Christian. He is an anti-Zionist. He is a Republican. He is a patriot, and he cares about the future of this country. And nothing in this video is meant to paint Jarrod in a negative light, attack him in any way. I just hope that, first, I hope that this video gets to him. And second, I hope that I can give an answer to the question that he asked, which I will share with you guys now. Okay. So, Jarrod's post. A vote for a Republican is a vote for our greatest ally. A vote for a Democrat is a vote for Islam. If I tone the language down, it's because I am a new creator. My channel is small, and I am not trying to get new. So, a vote for a Republican is a vote for our greatest ally. A vote for a Democrat is a vote for Islam. How do I vote for a Christian American? And Jarrod, again, I mean this with all the respect in the world. It doesn't matter which side of the aisle you vote for. They're both for our greatest ally. Voting for a Democrat is not voting for Islam. I understand that there are people of that religion that are serving in public office. The Dems are just as controlled by our greatest ally as the Republicans are. And there's not a doubt about that. You could use APAC tracker and you could track it. I mean, there's people that have taken millions and millions of dollars from APAC on both sides of the aisle. And let me give you guys some statistics. Out of all eligible voters, only 50% vote in the presidential election. And out of that 50%, only 30% vote in the primary. It's not a lot of people. It doesn't take a lot of votes to swing or change a midterm primary in a very big way. And that's the direction that we need to head. We saw what happened to RFK as he tried to run as an independent. He was polling at 25% in some place. And the Democrats and Republicans did everything they could to keep him off the ballot because they knew he was a threat. So running a third party in this country is literally impossible because the Republicans and the Democrats will both shut it down the moment that they feel threat. So what other solutions do you have? See a lot of people talking about a legit revolution, but I don't really think that the people talking about it really understand what comes with that. The amount of people that will be lost will be astronomical. The infrastructure that will be destroyed, off the charts. Hospitals, schools, roads, small businesses. We are talking the complete destruction of the infrastructure of our country from the inside out. And got all the 2A guys saying, bring it on, bring it on. How many F-35s do you guys have laying around in the backyard for a rainy day? Or FPV drones that are turned into missiles? Or tanks? Or Humvees? Or unlimited resources for fuel? Fantasy of LARPing and having a revolution in this country is delusional. I understand that 1776 was over a 3% tax on tea. They were also fighting with muskets and pitchforks, not night vision goggles and Apache helicopters and every other asset the U.S. military has to throw at us. And honestly, the only thing they need to do to shut the entire thing down is just cut lines of communication, and there will be no way to coordinate. So you guys that really have this idea of overthrowing the entire system, it's not going to happen. You guys are dreaming. And if anybody tries to do it, I wish you well, but you are going to be the sacrificial lamb. And I hate saying that, but it's the truth. So I sat down and watched Cenk Uygur and Sean Ryan for a 3.5-hour podcast. And normally I wouldn't watch that. Right? I know how Cenk gets. Not a fan of his politics. But I also know Sean. And I know where he stands politically. And I know that the two of them, neither one of them backed down. So I figured it would be an interesting dynamic to see if they could come to some kind of common ground. And believe it or not, they did. And even better, this was mostly Cenk's plan. And anybody saying that it can't work, it's impossible, maybe if you forgot 2016 when I know I had to hide the fact that I was a Trump voter and a Trump supporter because I was afraid I was going to get fired from my job. And we did the impossible then. And we did the impossible again in 2024. It just didn't turn out how we expected it to. And Cenk and Sean had a lot more common ground than they didn't. And I was very surprised. So I'm going to lay out for you. Actually, before I do that, if you guys don't follow Jarrod, give him a follow because his content is phenomenal. And he deserves it because he puts the work in. The next post I'm going to show you is from an ex-SEAL Tier 1 operator named Jimmy Watson, who was Pat McAfee's personal security. And I'll tell you the backstory after I show you the video. Yeah, he was found dead in a Spanish prison. And then there was a building collapse in Miami that really went unexplained. And it turns out that the rescue operation and the cleanup wasn't done by Americans. It was done by the soldiers of our greatest ally. And it's thought that McAfee had a safe room there. He had his kill switch there. And literally not an American was allowed on site. The entire operation was conducted by our greatest allies' military. Now, if anybody can give me a logical explanation for that, feel free to drop it in the comments. I have racked my brain for years and gone down every conspiracy rabbit hole possible. And I cannot come to a logical conclusion for why our greatest allies, military, would be responsible for searching for survivors unless they were looking for something very that's just another data point to keep in the back of your head. Back to your post, Jarrod. Somebody actually corrected it. But you have a ton of followers and 600 responses on this post, so I don't think I'm going to find it. But I will. I know what it said. They edited it to say a vote for a Republican is a vote for our greatest ally, and a vote for a Democrat is a vote for our greatest ally. How do I vote for a Christian America? First thing we need to do is get any social media influencer that cares about the future of this country to get involved. And there's going to be a lot of propaganda flying because there's going to be a lot of money flying around independent media. Because if Trump's last election proved anything, it's independent media that's going to decide the election. It's not the mainstream news. The podcast tour he did probably won him the election. So we need to get influencers. Oh, this is another very important point. We are going to have to set aside some of our differences with the opposite side of the aisle. And if you can't love thy neighbor enough to set aside some differences so we can gain the sovereignty of our country back, then you are the problem. I'll flat out say it. Because we are not going to be able to do this by ourselves. It is going to be a team effort. And we are going to need both sides of the aisle that unite around their feelings towards our greatest ally. And we are going to have to amass an army of people that will get up, get off their ass, and go out and vote in the primary. Remember, 50% of eligible voters vote in the presidential election. 30%, maybe a little less, vote in the primaries. So it does not take much to swing a primary in the opposite direction. And the entire goal is to get every incumbent out of office, except for two, Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie. And I say those two because the two of them, to me, despite what you may think about some of Ro Khanna's policies, if it wasn't for the two of them, we wouldn't have any of the file. As far as my opinion, they're good. We vet every candidate that's running for office. We use the tracker, right? Let me pull it up on the screen. I don't even want to say it out loud because I'm afraid it'll flag my channel. Track AIPAC.com, and you can search for members of Congress, candidates for Congress, the Congress that are endorsed candidates, and this is what we need to use and make this a tool. And don't get it twisted. They're going to catch on quick. So the money will start funneling in from other places. So for all of you guys that are internet sleuths and researchers, Project Constitution, the Leah File, Ann Carroll, Baron Coleman, Candace Owen. I don't care what you think about any of these people, but Whitney Webb, what they are phenomenal researchers. So we need to track where these people are getting their money. And if they're good, they're good. And if they're not, they're not. And if you're stuck with two candidates who both aren't good, which chances are you will be, you get the incumbent out of office. Period. End of story. Anybody that takes corporate money from the lobbyists, pharmaceutical industry, big agriculture, defense contractors, the tech companies, big oil, the airlines, anybody that takes money from a lobby is owned by that lobby. This is why nothing happens for the average American. Because these people are put in office by special interests, because nobody turns out to vote for the primaries. And they do whatever they want. And they get in office whoever they want. But we have the ability to change that. We have the ability to turn Washington on its head. We have the ability to mobilize and send one of the biggest and strongest messages to the politicians in Washington that's ever been done. Imagine if we got half the incumbents out. Just half. How much of a difference that would make. And how much that would wake the rest of the politicians up to the fact that, oh, now the left and the right are uniting over this. They can't have that happen. And they will do everything they can to prevent that from happening. And if you're one of the people that's buying into that, you are being propagandized, because they are using it specifically to divide us. I understand we have differences between the left and the right. Some of them go straight to morals and values and beliefs. But I'll speak for myself. I bought into the propaganda on the right, and I feel like I got played. And I know I'm not the only one. And I know there's people on the left that feel like they have been sold out by their party. Corporate money out. If they take lobby money, out. If they take money from a foreign government or foreign entities, out. If they are a dual citizen, automatic out. How can you serve as a public official on the, I'll say on the national level, but on any level, holding dual citizenship to another country? How can you say you are loyal to the American people over that other country? You can't. There's no way to prove it. So if you're a dual citizen, out. You got to go. Nobody thought Donald Trump would get elected. And he did. He got elected. And if you ask me, he got elected 3 times. I think they, after seeing the incident at Brown University, the incident that happened at the rally in Pennsylvania, the first televised rally where this just happened to happen, the entire situation around CK and what happened to him, the investigation, the things that don't add up, the things that they have been caught lying about. And when I say they, I mean the government. And I'm not saying I know who did it. I'm just saying they're lying to us. And anybody that has any experience with firearms will tell you that with 100% certainty. And after this little incident at the correspondence dinner, I'm starting not to believe anything. And don't even get me started on the Biden administration, because nobody even knows who was making the calls. If we're going to take our country back and truly regain its sovereignty, we have 1, maybe 2 election cycles to get it done. And the midterms, the House and the Senate those races are just as important, if not more important, than the presidential race. Who are we on the right looking to put into office after 2028? Rubio? One of the biggest neocons of all time? Vance? Peter Thiel's puppet? The fake Marine? Rob Emanuel is running. I think he's I don't know. I think he's a Dem. And he served as a soldier in our greatest ally's army. How should he even be allowed to run for office? Listen, it'll take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of people getting on board. It's going to take a lot of people willing to put their differences aside, find some common ground to take back our country. And we can go back to fighting about all the culture war stuff after that's done, because that's a little bit more important. And Jarrod, again, man, I say this with all the love and respect in the world. I follow you. I love your content. But as a creator on the right, I wanted you to at least hear out this idea, because I don't see any other realistic solutions. But we can make this happen. There's enough people, there's enough young people that feel so disenfranchised that they're willing to do anything at this point to get to make their lives better. And it's the politicians and the elites on both sides of the aisle who we are going up against. So since they're two wings of the same bird, we need to play on the same team for this one. Guys, my name is Ricky. The name of my channel is America First FTR. Stands for Free the Republic. Because our nation lost its sovereignty maybe as far back as Kennedy. Who knows? But it's time we get it back. And we have an opportunity to get it back if we put the work in. And I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to put the message out every day. I'm willing to air out the candidates that are taking money from places that we don't want and put the good candidates up on pedestals so we know who it is that we're putting in office. but it's a big job and I can't do it by myself. So, Jarrod, I hope that you don't feel like I disrespected you in any way. And I hope that this was an answer to your question and a shot of some kind of hope for the future. Because we have the opportunity to do something. And I hope that we're able to do that. I hope we're able to achieve that. With that, guys, again, my name is Ricky. This is America First FTR. It stands for Free the Republic. I have like 200 subscribers on my channel. I started making content after CK was taken from us, because that kid was taken away for using his voice, and it inspired me to use mine. So if you could give a like, a subscribe, comment, share, anything, I would appreciate it. And help me get this video to Jarrod. And share this video with any other creator that you think can make a difference. Because we don't have a lot of time. Time's running out. So if we're going to act, we need to act quick. That's all I got. I hope you guys have a blessed night. Christ is King. Jarrod, I'm sorry, brother. I didn't mean to call you out like this, but kind of felt like it needed to be done. It was God was speaking to me on this one. So have a good night.